Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Walt Smith coming at you live today with the Black News Network. I wanted you to see what happened across America. You can see in plain sight, right in front of you, the many, many cities that were destroyed by our oppressors. Now, nobody wants to always show stuff like this or talk about stuff like this. But sometimes it's necessary. If not you, who? If not me, who? Somebody got to talk about it. The system that we are a part of has been brought up for us to fail. We've been set up for failure. And what I'm going to attempt to do today is go through what that is and see if we can get to the bottom of this. Because this is some bullshit. And I ain't going to really say it, but you know what I mean. We are set up to fail. I don't the liar knows the lie they told. Now, seem like this entire lifestyle, this entire existence of our culture has been evolved upon lie after lie after lie after lie. Now, let's take a look back. And if you think about all the things that have happened with this country and with the rest of the world, you got to say, man, this is some heavyweight shit. Because certain things that people have done should not be possible. I mean, it should not even be thought of to do this to another human being. But yet, they did these things to our ancestors right here in the U.S.A, Northwest Africa. And we have decided to act like it doesn't exist. They tell us to forget our history. And, but if we talk about our history, there's a problem. But every time you turn around, here comes the Holocaust or some other atrocity that this country existed with. And we end up dealing with their situations more than ours. Our situation is study pushed back in the back room, while their situations are study kept up front. And the moment you mention ours, we got a problem. Who controls more Black people than anybody else in the country? There's some people in control now. Don't get it wrong. There are people in control of the Black people. And your first question you probably thought of is, who are the Black leaders? It's a conglomeration. I mean, the biggest concentration of Black people gathered today at church. The biggest concentration. Probably about 75 million people, Black people, went to church today. That's a lot of people. And with that amount of people in one place, and I call the church one place, doesn't matter what denomination you may be, church is church. There's still no direction from that massive body of Black people. Now, the next question would be, well, since the churches control the biggest group of Black people, then who control the churches? You got to look at it how it really is. The federal government will give a church a 501, is a C3 or C4 nonprofit exemption. which means in order for you to be nonprofit, these are some of the parameters for a church to exist. And they are all different depending on the type of nonprofit you may have. But a church nonprofit has to comply with very specific guidelines outlined by the federal government in order for them to exist or stay a church and stay nonprofit. So the church is controlled by the federal government. Because the church cannot be used for political gain. It cannot be used for economic gain, social gain. It cannot be used for any of those gains. But if they, I mean, you look at other churches around here that live by it. They'll tell everybody in the congregation who to vote for. They'll tell everybody what we need to do with the money to support one candidate. We need to put this money on this candidate. They do this, and the federal government doesn't get involved. Now, as long as they do it, they're not a problem. Let it become known that there are Black churches endorsing political candidates, then there's a problem. And it seems that way for every single thing in America. As long as the Black people don't get involved in it or don't try to do it, then it's okay. White people just run it down and do it all they want to. But the moment the Black person steps in and tries to do the same thing, then it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem for the entire country. Even looking at a particular movie becomes a problem in the United States of America. And if you don't want to believe me, ask Kyrie Irving. You know, why would you hit him up with anti-Semitism, which we're the Jews any damn way, but if you say one thing against Israel, it's almost a damn life sentence. You're going to jail. You're being labeled by all these damn hypocrites. If you look back over all the things that happened to us, it's sad. It is really sad. We gotta heal our history. And the only way we're gonna heal our history is through America doing what they're supposed to do. Even though we know the churches control the people, the government controls the churches, we got this other entity too, which are the fraternities. Another probably, I'd say 50 to 60 million people, Black people, are involved in women fraternities, men fraternities, all across the board. In any given city, you can have up to 10, 20 fraternities that are Black affiliated in a particular city. But do you think, for 1 second, that at any point in time they will work together? They even go so far as to have rules that say Black don't work with Black. For some reason, I don't understand that part, but they do say it. Black don't work with Black, but Black can work with white. Black can work with Hispanic. You do not see a Black man in one of these fraternities sitting at the head seat. All the seats are in the East. You don't see a Black man sitting at these other races or nationalities seats. They cannot ever get to those seats that will lead the people. And it's almost like an oxymoron when you allow, and I gotta say it, a white man to ascend to the highest position in your fraternity. And all of you are Black. It's a Black fraternity. You don't see the resemblance of what you're doing here when you allow these people to move up through your ranks. Of course, they're going to be just good Samaritans. They're going to do everything they're supposed to do to get through there, and you're going to let them get through there because you're a kind-hearted person that's how most of us are. We have kind hearts. We try and give people the benefit of a doubt that everybody is doing correct, doing right, a righteous person. But if that's the case, then why was slavery held so damn long? I mean, you think that the children didn't see it? How can you string up a man on a tree and then cut off his genitals and put them in his mouth or something like that, and your children are standing around the tree as well as you, and more likely you just got out of church. That's when they usually would go and hang a black person. Once they got out of church on Sunday, they go to the park and do a picnic. They pick a nigga into jail, bring him out there, hang him, shoot at him, burn him, cut him up, pass out his pieces, and believe that they eat people. That's a far-fetched statement, but you know, you cannot go through life thinking these things don't exist, because they do. They really do exist. And if you keep thinking that no, ain't nobody doing that shit, man, you crazy, then I'm not boo boo the fool. If you don't believe it, you boo boo the fool, because there's no limit to what these people will do to get what they want. If you don't believe me, look at how they made the Indians that they're not their real name. The tribes that were here in this country on Northwest Africa. Look what they did to them. They did some things to them that just like they did to us, that are unheard of. I mean, they started to call them savages, and then they took all the kids from the Indian reservations and put them into an American basin school. And if you didn't learn the American way, then you got beat as Indians. Then you got the Trail of Tears. You got all these different movements that America did to these people just to take their land. And at the turn of the century, 1901, 1905, black folks had millions and millions of acres. Right now, foreign countries own more property in America than black people. We're down to 2-3 million acres for the whole entire race. They took our land, and we act like it's not important for us to look back and try to get a hold to stuff that belonged to us. If we never look back, we don't know where we're coming from. We don't know who we are. And when you don't know who you are, you cannot tell anybody what you stand for. You don't know what you stand for because you don't know who you are. In order for you to know who you are, you got to be interested in knowing who you are. But you humped it over around here in America thinking that you got it like that because you making a few dollars, you got a nice place to live, driving a nice car. I got a few dollars in the bank, you good, shit. But you're good until it hits you. Until that shit comes to your doorstep, you good. It ain't been to my doorstep, but I'm involved because I can see what's happening out here. And you have to look in order to see. You cannot turn a blind eye to the shit that they've been doing to everybody. And then you're so not understanding what Trump is doing here. What happens when there's a big black march or something? You see hundreds of white boys showing up in tactical gear with a AR-15 strung across their shoulders, and nobody says a damn thing to them. They just go through and do what they do, and nobody says anything to them. But what happens if there's a spark? See, Wounded Knee with the Indians was an incident where one person shot one gun And the U.S. Cavalry killed 200 to 300 women, children, and babies. They killed everybody in that camp at Wounded Knee. Everybody. Over one of the U.S. soldiers accidentally discharging his weapon. They killed the entire Indian camp and thought nothing of it. There's no compensation for that. There's no compensation for us being ripped from our mother's breast and given to the next plantation down the road because we don't want you to know who your people are. We got to screw that shit up as big as we can. There's no turning back to that. You can never, ever figure this shit out now. You can never do it. You don't know if you married to your brother or sister because they did us just that bad. Every one of these they look at us as a subordinate race. And under no circumstances do you become more than a subordinate race, even if you are sitting at the top of the tier. You still got one thing in common with the person on the bottom of the tier. That's if you're black. And that one commonality is that you will be called a nigger. No matter how much money you got, no matter what kind of car you drive, it doesn't matter. They still gonna call you out of your name because you have put yourself in a position to think you're better and that you can assimilate into their culture. And when you're doing this assimilation, you forget that you're still black until they remind your black ass that you're still black by cracking jokes and you laughing with them on a joke that's on your head. They do that to us. They have deprived us economically. We've had all those towns that were thriving black communities, even Central Park in New York. It was a thriving black community until the city of New York decided they wanted that property to make it Central Park. So they took it and displaced 225 black families. 225 black families got displaced at Central Park. That's not all. The other places like Rosewood, let me just say this, Rosewood was the only one that got compensated for what the white people did. Even Tulsa, Oklahoma, black community got wiped out and they never been compensated for what happened there. We talk about that all the time, but there's one in Chicago, Clinton, Mississippi, all over the place. And don't even talk about the over 200 graves in the back of the jail. Economically, we have been limited to the money we can make. So let's go way back to 1960. What type of jobs did they have available for black people? Black people couldn't manage a McDonald's or couldn't manage a restaurant. In that day, a white restaurant, and see, it was white and black. It was still white and black separation. A black man couldn't go to the white side and have dinner because you couldn't sit down at the counters over there. But they can come over and sit down at the counters on your side. The only jobs available for black people were you can go out and drive tractors for Mr. Billy. Only way the kids made money during the summer, you can pick cotton for Mr. Billy, or you can chop cotton for Mr. Billy, or you can clean your mama cleaning Mr. Billy's house. Your daddy on the tractor, your mama cleaning the house and cooking and raising Mr. Billy's children. Yeah, I said children. You had all these responsibilities for these white folks, but yet you were starving. Your families were starving. You couldn't even buy a decent set of clothes to wear back then. You couldn't do it because they would They would make sure you had no money and you could not leave that plantation. They had the plantation store, or they call it the commissary, the plantation commissary, where you would go as a black person and you would give me 5 slices of bologna and 3 packs of crackers. Put it on the book. You can't pay for 5 slices of bologna and 3 packs of crackers, individual packs, that is. You couldn't pay for it because they had made so much money off of you and deprive you of a righteous pay for the work you've done. And you're the one who made the money, really, because they ain't did shit but told you to go do this. You made that money for them. But yet they starved the hell out of you and put you in a row house, 5 or 6 houses on an old country road right next to each other, all built the exact same way. And they used to call them, some of them were shotgun houses, because you can see through the front door and out the back door. That's why they call them a shotgun house. As long as you could stay in that house and drive that tractor and clean Mr. Billy's house, Mr. Billy didn't bother you unless he wanted to come over and eat what your wife was cooking at home. You know, he could walk in your house any day or night. You couldn't say a damn thing. The man couldn't do nothing. You know, because they'll kill a black man just like that, and you're dead, and nobody gives a damn. A white man ain't going to jail for killing a black man. And it seems the way it is right now, because of the way the police are killing black men. It's 40 going east, black men dying all over the place. Every time you turn around, they're doing some stupid shit, like tasing a handicapped black kid. A 14-year-old boy got tased because they thought he looked like the suspect. These damn cops need to quit, man, with all that bullshit, because that is all it is. It is bullshit. And they just continue to do it. We're not catching it every day like we should be, because it's still happening. These damn people ain't quit. They're going to keep setting us up to fail until we get the message and go back into our corner and accept the position of a servant and a subordinate to the white man. We're never going to make money like they make money, because they're not going to allow us to own anything. You can have a little business, but your little business ain't making you rich. You working your ass to death in your business, and you end up dying before you can enjoy the money, the little money you made in that business. And the only thing you get out of owning that business as a black person is the right to say, I own a business. I'm a business owner. That's all you get, because you end up, it's harder running your own business than it is working for somebody else. So most people elect to work for somebody else because they get an idea that when you're running your own business, you're 24/7. And it's hard. But there are some people willing to go through it and do it. Some are not. Shit, I just want to work for Mr. Bobby Duncan, man. I don't give a damn about that shit. I ain't working out there. I ain't gonna try to run my own shit. They ain't gonna let me succeed anyway. So I'm done. You get complacent, and you get to accept the reality that you are a subordinate to white people. When you accept that, you have just been defeated. You might as well go tuck your tail and stick your head in the corner, because you're done. And so many of us have given up on ourselves because we don't see greener pasture in front of us. So when you can't see greener pasture in front of you, then look back and see where you came from. Once you see where you came from, then you get a reinvigoration of where you need to go. But if you're at a dead end on your movement forward, you're complacent Everything's the same every damn day, every week. You go through the same routine. Look back, because you done lost focus of who you are and what you stand for. Look back so you can find out where you need to go. You're not gonna make the money because as long as you're dependent on Mr. Billy to pay you. Like I said, you go to the commissary on the plantation, get your bologna, get your crackers. At the end of the month, when Mr. Billy's supposed to pay your husband or the man of the house what he earned during the field, he ended up saying, "Well, you spent this much at the corner store," and then you said, "How the hell I done spent all this money at the corner store?" You know you ain't spent that much. They done chumped up the books on your ass and took your money again, and they did this repeatedly on a regular basis, and there was nothing we could say about it because we were complacent and we accepted the subordination of ourselves. Today, in 2024, I would be wanting to kick a nigga in the ass if I see him acting subordinate towards a white man. You better act like you're equal or better. But if you done bent over and told him to put his foot in your ass, then I'm gonna put mine in your ass too. That's just how it goes. But they're not gonna allow you to make the money you need to make because they know that the society don't want black people to succeed. And you can bullshit yourself if you want to and make yourself believe that you got just as many rights as everybody else. And sooner or later, you'll figure it out that you don't. But if you don't, that's you. They've screwed us mentally. Now, just think about this. What do you think slavery, the black codes, Jim Crow, segregation, integration, subtle racism, pull yourself up by the bootstrap, and lazy black people? What do you think all these different terms were designed for? They were designed to keep you where they wanted you to be, subordinate to them. Slavery, you already know. And something out of slavery that I never understand is how we perpetuate ourselves forward practicing what we learned on the plantation. We need to forget all that shit. Back then, it was necessary to eat chitlins. It was necessary to eat pig feet and ham hock because we had nothing else to eat. But we ate that food because of that very reason. There was nothing else to eat. There's no reason for us to be going to the store right now, getting a bucket of chitlins and talking about eating it. There's no reason for that. You know, you gotta realize that is the shit trail of a hog. You gotta realize that. And a hog does not have sweat glands. So where does the shit go when he needs to get it out of his system? He don't shoot it out the back all the time. You know, and a hog grows up in a controlled environment eating slop. They don't eat, the slop ain't even like it used to be. The slop's so full of antibiotics because the hog is dealing in mud and water and they're getting sick and they got pus bumps all over them and you still eating the hog. Just like you eating a cow. You've seen the videos where they pop a zit on a hog's neck, a cow's neck, and an hour worth of fluid come out looking like milk. What you think coming out of the other end? Milk. Slavery was really our initial indoctrination into the American way, the whiteness of America. The whiteness of America exists. And as long as you stayed in your place and respected the white man the way they thought you needed to, then you didn't have no problem. They didn't raid your house at night and take you out in the back field and hang you and cut off your private parts. only because you was Yassa, Nausa, and you looking at the ground all the while you saying all that. Yassa, Nausa. I've heard them say it. I had to leave. The black codes came about after the Emancipation Proclamation, which white people had to figure out a way to get you back on the plantation, even though you were liberated off the plantation. You got put back on the plantation because of the 13th Amendment. You are free, yet if except for punishment of a crime. Now, you can make a crime out of vagrancy or a crime out of being out after 7 o'clock at night, and you get caught up being out after 7 o'clock, you get put back in the slavery. Then you got these people that you did. I forget the name of the act, but it allowed slave catchers to go anywhere in the country and look at somebody. Oh, you look just like that slave off of this plantation, and they can take you and put you back in that on that plantation and get paid for it. But they had to have that badge, just like the police have today. And I think that's one of the biggest problems we got now is the police still think they're in fucking slavery. I apologize. At one time, that's all I'm gonna do. Black codes screwed us up even more, made us afraid to step out of our homes, made us afraid to ask for a pay raise, made us afraid to ask for equal treatment because they would beat us if we asked. So we just took whatever they gave us. We took it. Jim Crow. Jim Crow is the time where the Ku Klux Klan decided that, oh, these black codes ain't working too damn good, man. We're going to step it up a notch. So we're going to form the Ku Klux Klan and we're going to intimidate the hell out of these people, terrorize these people. That was the first terrorist organization in the country. The Ku Klux Klan was a terrorist organization. But nobody will say that. They'll call you an anti-Semitism or Semite. Jim Crow, then we went to segregation. You on that side and we on that side, separate but equal. After segregation, we went to integration, which was the truest demise of the black culture ever. Integration was. And I say that because why are you taking our children out of our communities and busing them to somebody else's community because you want to give them an equal chance? But yet you don't want to put the money into our community to help us bring up our standards. You rather just bus our children over to the other side of town where we have no control over what the hell's going on over there. You got total control of our kids. You're dogging out the black kids. You're cutting their hair. You're making them sit in the corner. You're not teaching them. If they raise their hand, you send them to the office for being disrespectful. And then you wonder why they don't comprehend what you're teaching because you're not relating to them. You're relating to your constituents, your white kids. This is what immigration did. It put black people further and further behind than it was when we were all segregated. When we were segregated, we were thriving communities. But the moment we stepped over that damn track into their territory, we was a nigger and a slave, nothing more. And we could never get ahead over that. If we'd have stayed in our own shit, who knows where we would have been today. I can guarantee if white people hadn't done what they done to us, the black people would be in control of this country. Now, Look at all the shit they did, and we're still thriving and succeeding. They've tried to make us fail from hundreds of years ago, and we have not failed. You have some successful black men, black women, but when you talk about successful black men and black women, they did another thing by separating the black man from the black woman. And how come every time I see a rich black man, I see him with a white woman? How come every time I see a rich, a well-known black woman, she with a white man, or a rich black man, he with a white woman? I just saw Damien off of Shark Tank. His wife is white. Now he came from selling damn T-shirts. What is it about that? I mean, I don't know why you. I don't understand. I don't even know what to say about that, because white people and black people, to me, are two different brands. Black people and people of color are one brand. White people are another brand, because they have white people, they have German people, they have Scottish people, they have Netherlands people, they have Iranians, they have all kind of people that fall into that category. Israel people fall into that category too. That's a lot of people in the same category, and they'll pull together. And like I was saying earlier, how when there's an event going on with black people, we're pissed off. We shall overcome. I don't understand, what is that supposed to do other than make you look stupid? I wish a black person would try to sing that song in my presence. It ain't gonna happen, because that's just a defeated song. When you singing that song, it's a defeatist type attitude and song. It's saying that you've already lost, because you're saying we shall overcome. Why? You're already overcoming, but now you want to sing a song saying we shall overcome. Get it right. And all this controversy around all these pastors today, they need to quit. It's just too many damn churches that are misleading our people and holding our people back. Why would I give my rent money to the church so they can build a new sanctuary? Why do a church got to build something every damn time they get a little money? They just continuously build, like the lady from the Winchester playing, the Winchester rifle lady, the air. She could never stop building on her house. So 24 hours a day, she had somebody working on her house. And she had that much money because she was a Winchester. All the Winchesters they sold. And she did that because she was able to do that. Subtle racism, little bitty things that you think, oh, that's just me feeling that way. They're being racist toward you, and you allowing it because they know it's subtle racism, and they can ride the fence on it, and they can keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, and then you call them out, and they gonna say, "Well, I didn't know that was racist. I didn't know you thought that I was trying to be a racist. I like black people. I got a black friend over there in the whatever." When they say that, that's an automatic indicator that they full of shit, that they do not like y'all black asses. But you gotta call them out. You're gonna say, "Hey, Bob, I noticed that when I come in the office, everybody get quiet, and when I'm in the office, I'm working my ass off. But you got other people walking around with a coffee cup all day every day, getting paid more than me. What's going on here?" Well, I mean, what's wrong? Let me fix it. Like they don't know what the hell is going on. And then the other thing is they go into Africa, the white people do, and they show every dilapidated culture there is, when in reality, Africa, many hundreds of thousands of places look better than the USA. But have you ever seen one positive picture of Africa on American TV? No, you haven't. Because they don't want you to know who you are and where you came from. You are descendants of slaves, and you have a history and a culture that you won't look back on. You got to look back. They set you up where you won't look back. They didn't want you to look back. Look how they beat the shit out of Kunta Kinte. I say this a lot because they did beat the shit out of Kunta Kinte because they didn't want Kunta Kinte to remember his tribal name. They made him give up his tribal name to call himself Toby. And until he gave it up, they couldn't deal with him because he maintained his connection with his ancestry. You know, imagine where you would be if you never was taken from your people. You're a lot better off than you are now, I bet you. You know, if you're successful here now, you'd be quadruple successful there now. These subtle racism, when you hold the door for some white person and they just walk out the door and don't say shit to you, you know, they should say thank you or something. Damn, I didn't have to hold this door for your ass. But don't get mad. Let it go because you are the better person, right? Shit. Now let that damn door go. They better say thank you before they even get to the damn door. Well, I'm letting it go. Don't put my change on the counter. Don't follow me around the store. Don't look at me like I took something from you. You know, it's all that. And the moment you send your plate back in a restaurant, I recommend you just tell them you're going to go somewhere else. Because if they don't get your food out prepared the right way the first time, I guarantee you it ain't going to be no better the second time. Because they're going to slang your food around like it ain't nothing back there. And they probably going to rub the hand all over it, scratch the balls and the butt too, and move your meat to another side of the plate and make it look like it's a new plate. And it's the same shit that you just sent out there to you. And then you get home and your stomach tore up because they fed you some spoiled ass shit. You got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Pull yourself up from what? If you ain't got no damn strings in your boots, how the hell you gonna pull yourself up by your bootstraps? You ain't got no damn boots. But they want to tell you, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. How the hell that's gonna happen? A bunch of bullshit. You know, the biggest problem is that the attempt to keep us suppressed has been successful. Has been successful in America because we have allowed them to suppress us and we're complacent with that. Not just a few people, but a culture. We're complacent with it and we allowed them to subdue us. And right now, we're not in a moral place to go after what's rightfully ours because we don't have the main ingredient. There's one main ingredient to anything, and that's unification. And like I was saying earlier, how you see them white boys in their tactical gear and they AR-15s on their shoulders, and nobody say a damn thing to them, but they all over the damn place, and they there lying like we here to help the police. And everybody know that the police is there to arrest black people, So if they there to help the police, what the fuck, man? Goddamn. It's in damn red, white, and blue right in front of you. But you don't want to acknowledge that these boys got their shit together and you can't get three people together. That's our problem. The unity in our culture is sucked. We have lost it. Until we unify, they're gonna wipe us out so damn fast. And the way they've done it thus far is individually. They take us out one at a damn time, all over the country, one at a time. And there's nobody coming behind that one at a time and saying something or doing a damn thing about it. That's how they taking us out. All over the country, one at a time, and nobody answers the damn call. Why is it that if the police shot a black person in San Antonio, why is there no quick reactionary force to go down to City Hall and demand to see that camera footage? We ain't got three people willing to go do shit around here. We ain't never gonna get nowhere like that until we pull together and start working together on situations like this. We are gonna always be shit on as a culture. Our culture will never have any significance in America because they got us right where they want us. They've been successful, like I said. They got us right where they want us. And then in 1902, the Rockefellers create this bullshit education system to do what? Teach you to sit down for 8 hours, which is what they did. And then they come up with the free lunch program because there was depression and everybody was without work. So they fed the kids in school. But look at the quality of food that they feed these kids in school. It's killing them. The closer the school is to the hood or the ghetto, or I'm just calling it that, but that's our terms for it, the worse the food is. If you ever go into a school, or you should even do it if you haven't done it, go in there around lunchtime and look at what they serve these kids. That shit's killing people on the inside, just like the McDonald's fries. They're addictive, but they're killing you. That the damn Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich tastes like $1 million, but it's killing you. They have 56 ingredients in that damn chicken sandwich. So many that they don't even advertise them on the web anymore. A lot. This food is killing us. And as long as we allow it to continue to kill us, then we're going to continue to die early. We have the I don't know if you want to say the highest fatality rate in black men than any other man in America because of what we eat. Now, you buying chitlins out the store. These chitlins are not like the chitlins that you got from your backyard and kill your own. You grew your own hog, you kill your own hog every November. You did your own hogs. And because you did your own hogs, you know exactly what that hog ate to get as big as they got. But now you don't know where this damn shit coming from. You don't know what antibiotics they're giving these hogs. You don't know what steroids they're giving these hogs. You don't know the hog's living condition. You don't know anything about that hog. But yet you go and buy all of the hog meat and you eat it. That meat is contaminated with chemicals, just like the water at Camp Lejeune that they're talking about now. Pork is the same way. Beef, the same way. Turkey, the same way. Chicken, the same way. Out of 1,000,000,001 places in this country that sell chicken. How can every one of them have chicken? How can every one of these restaurants have chicken in it? I don't get it. That's a lot of damn chicken. And then don't even count the restaurants. Look at places like Cisco, where they supply all the restaurants. They got to have 10 times more chicken than the people need. That's a lot of damn chicken. And chicken has a lifespan, just like beef. You turning that shit over, but yet you never run out. You never run out of chicken. They're killing us with our food. If you do one thing that I ask you to do, that is learn how to eat. A diet ain't gonna save you. Cutting back on your meals ain't gonna save you. What's gonna save you is understanding the quality of the food you eat. Know what you eat. Know the quality of what you eat. Just like if you were eating your grandmother's chitlins 30 years ago, they probably wouldn't be as contaminated as the chitlins you buy in the store today from a hog that's been locked up like he's been in prison. It's different. The chickens are different, the turkeys are different, everything's different, and it's nothing like what you had when you were growing up. So don't think you can bring traditions and cultures from back then to now, because it's not the same. And there are many black people that's so strung out on these damn eat all you can days, like Thanksgiving and Christmas. Eat every damn thing you can get your mouth on. That shit's killing you. And I'm guilty, because I can recall the time where when I would go home for Thanksgiving to my mother's house, and when I left there a week later, I had gained 10 pounds from all the damn food that they cooked and prepared for Thanksgiving. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous how much we eat and how much we throw away. You got to learn how to eat. You got to learn how to eat. And if you're eating, you think you can, well, I'm going to just limit myself to one pizza a day. But look at the label on that pizza. Everything is over the top, more than your daily recommendation. But you still eat it. Excuse me. Kindergarten, we go to kindergarten, we go to elementary school, we go to junior high, we go to high school, we go to junior college, then we go to universities for our advanced degrees. All of it is not paying off right now, because now you don't need a college degree to get a government job or a city job for that matter. They're not requiring you to have a college degree. But here it is, you done spent the last 10 years or 15 years getting your college degree because you think you're going to walk out of college and get you a $150,000 job just like that. No, you're not going to get that unless you got connections already with big pharma or big companies. And Black people don't usually have those type of connections. White people do. They do. So just remember that we've talked about slavery, black codes, Jim Crow, segregation, integration, subtle racism, pull yourself up by the bootstrap, and the worst one of all, laziness. They got the audacity to call us lazy when we've done every damn thing that they don't know how to do. We've done it all. And we're still thriving as a people, as a culture. But our problem lies within our unity. That is the only problem we got. If we can get our unity together, where what they say, a country that's divided will fall. America is headed for a failure because we are divided. And if you think you think that they don't think that they can kill us all, you got another thing coming because I'm pretty sure they think they can. And if they can't, they're doing everything right to do it. How can you get 50 white men with an AR-15 and tactical gear in one place? You can't get 5 black men in one place with a t-shirt on. You can't do it. I mean, no matter how hard some of us talk about working together or being together, trying to do something together, black men and black women don't support what's happening here. You support agencies that are no threat to the government, like the NAACP. They ain't a threat at all. That's why they're still around. Everything else gone. And I don't even have to mention who they are. Many of our people are too poor to live. And it's a result of the greatest crime in history, which is slavery. Nobody's been prosecuted for the amount of people died during slavery in the millions. Millions of people perished during slavery. And they perished because we didn't know any better. But when you know better, you should do better. You know better, you should do better. You know, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get ready to take us on home. You know, the traffic tickets, traffic traffic tickets are the worst thing they're doing for us right now. They're using traffic tickets to beat up the poor. The poor people pay most police salaries with those tickets. And they give you tickets just like that because they want your little money. You ain't even got enough money to pay rent or pay your mortgage or pay your electric bill. And then here they come giving you a ticket on top of that. I'm going to tell you this little secret, and you need to apply this next time you get a ticket. When they tell you to sign that ticket because that is the law. Sign the ticket. Don't give them any shit about signing the ticket. Sign it. But right by your name, put 3 letters. TDC. What that does, the T as in Tango, D as in Delta, and C as in Charlie. It indicates that you're signing that ticket on a threat from the officer, duress, because the officer made you feel like you had no other choice, or coercion. The officer coerced you to sign the ticket. TDC. T period, D period, C period. The way I remember it is I was in a place called Tongdeshang in South Korea. TDC. Everybody called that place TDC. You remember TDC and put it on any traffic ticket you get, you ain't got to worry about paying. But you do have to make the court date. You have to make the court date. We've been deprived economically. We've been deprived mentally. We've been deprived spiritually. We've been deprived physically. We are in food deserts. We don't get quality food, and we don't make enough money to eat better quality food. And we've been deprived socially. We've been earmarked to a particular part of the city where Black people meet. And how do you know where that part of the city is? Look for the MLK Boulevard. That's how you know. Right now in America, the Black person is too poor to live. You know, you might be making a few dollars, but you still fall in that category of too poor to live. The average Black person makes 30% less than a white person of the same age and job. And like I keep saying, you need to find out what the people that do the same job as you make, because I guarantee you they making more than you if you're Black. Last thing, the attempt to divide us has been extremely successful. It is our job to reverse that success, because if we don't, we're destined to be subordinates the rest of our life. This is the Black News Network. BNN247.org is our webpage. BNN247 YouTube. Like us and subscribe on Facebook, as well as our subscription on YouTube. Your comments will greatly appreciated. Your donations to the Black News Network is greatly appreciated. And please like us on Facebook if you can. Like I said, this is the Black News Network, the real voice of Black USA, broadcasting live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. and every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. I'm Walt.